said, let's start at 7 a.m. 3 times a week with a workout. And that was my initiative because I was very passionate about practicing and implementing techniques live, as opposed to just teaching them in a classroom where they stay very theoretical, but they're not being implemented. What we teach is very practical. We need agents to learn scripts, to learn dialogues, to be able to convey messages to clients.
Shalom from Jerusalem. My name is Shlomo Ben Zaken. I'm the CEO of Remax Momentum, and we have a very, very special guest today, Gil Li-ran from Remax Israel.
Hello.
Hi.
Great to be here.
It's amazing to have you. I'm so honored.
So much fun.
I've been waiting for this for a long time. And to do this in English with you is really cool, actually. You know what happens? I send you messages in Hebrew. You send me back in English. I guess you want to practice. Your English is amazing. So I think this will be a great opportunity for people who never really hear you in English, besides Remax Europe or whatever. But in Israel, they really don't get to do that. So it's a real big honor for me that you're here. You're actually my mentor. You know, I don't know if you know this, but I learned a lot from you. I took the Zinuk, the Jumpstart course with you in 2012. So it's about 10 years. Imagine that. Wow, 10 years. In our business of real estate business, to be a real estate agent for 10 years is a long time.
Absolutely.
So, but it's to your honor. It's from you guys, Remax Israel, and Gil and you and other trainers like Natasha, she's great, and Yamit now here, she's doing the Jumpstart course, and you gave me a lot, and I really appreciate it. And I get from you every single week, 3 times a week, in the morning training sessions that from 7 o'clock in the morning. You know? So it's I tell you something, it gets me up early in the morning, which is really great. I used to be a night person, now I became a day person. That's a big switch for me, by the way. And but you know, if you want to make changes in your success, you have to make changes in your hergalim, in what you're used to doing. So I'm kind of getting it on both sides, to be honest. Okay, I mean, I'm here in the morning early and also at night. Yeah. But because I do a lot of things besides. But anyway, it's a real honor for you to be here, and I want to get right into it because podcasts can't be that long. Even though we did one in Hebrew, I went for 45 minutes. But now we're going to do it in English, and there's a lot to talk about. Sure. And let's get right to it. So first of all, I'd love to hear, most people that I know don't really know Gil, like the person, the family man, the husband. So I'd love for you to talk a little about that.
Oh, perfect. Well, first of all, I've been with Remax for 15 years. So that's my main, let's say, occupational history is with Remax. Family-wise, I'm my life partner is Shirley from Remax as well.
Yay, Shirley!
Yes, she's an owner of 3 offices in Tel Aviv.
Wow!
Very successful office group in Tel Aviv. We met in Remax naturally. We were both married before, so this is our chapter 2 together. She had 3 kids.
How did you meet, by the way? I didn't get.
She was my student.
Really?
Yes, and then but that's how we met, and then later on. When she became a franchisee, she started as an agent actually in Rehovot, and then when she became a franchisee in Tel Aviv, then I became their business consultant, and that's when we basically became more close, okay? So that was like a year or something later.
You're both really, really smart. I'm sorry, I don't want to put, but and that's interesting. It must be really challenging for you. She challenges you, I bet, right?
Of course.
Intellectually?
Of course. Well, first of all, I think that just to finish the family story, so she had 3 kids, and then we had another kid together. So we have a total of 4 kids in the house. Now 1 is in the army, but basically it's 4 kids. Great environment, very loud, very hectic, which is what I always wanted. And yes, we are both in the same company, in the same business, in different places. I think it's a huge advantage for me because I can learn what's happening in the field, in the office, with agents, their challenges, their frustrations, what's happening right now in the market. I get like firsthand observation, which is for me a huge advantage because I can reflect that in what we try to do in Remax Israel. So for me, it's a huge benefit. I think in the beginning, people were not giving Shirley enough credit when she was starting to succeed, because they said, "Oh, it's not fair. You have a Gil in your home." But honestly, everything that she does mostly on her own, and she deserves 100% credit for the success of Remax Ocean as it is right now. And I think I'm getting a lot more benefit from a professional perspective from our interaction together.
That's awesome. I mean, usually people, to mix business and family is a difficult thing, but I guess you say, I mean, you're both very driven people. You're very, you're people that...
And we're not in really the same business, because we don't, she has Remax Ocean.
Same company. But
same brand, but she has Remax Ocean. She's an owner. I work for Remax Israel. So we don't spend 24 hours together at work. She goes to her office, I go to the head office, and I have different projects, different priorities. She does her thing. So even when we get together, yes, we have a lot in common to talk about, because we know the same people and we're going through the same challenges and the same adventures, but from two different perspectives. So I think for us, it's much healthier.
Very cool. So tell us, I know you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Never saw you with an actual hat, but
yeah.
You wear a lot of hats in Remax Israel. So first of all, what's your official title, and what are all your your main things that you have to deal with over there?
So my official title is Vice President of Marketing, but it's really, the title doesn't mean much to me. I like what's involved in actual production of things. So I started as a trainer many years ago, and a business consultant for the broker owners, which is where most people start in Remax as trainers, and then it developed into technology because of an opportunity that just happened, and then marketing came on board and running the school and other stuff. What I really like is impacting the everyday performance of agents and broker owners through my personal interaction with them, but also from building systems that can help them develop their business and be more successful. So I like big projects. I like to take things like the Remax Control, which we created from zero, the new Remax website, which we created from zero, create big systems that are very practical and functional and help agents and broker owners like you be more successful.
That's amazing, and we're definitely benefiting from it. And there's a lot of, we have some more ideas for you.
Happy.
I'll send them along, but sure. Definitely what we have, I don't think is there any other Remax, is there any other real estate company, that's like Remax, whatever our competition, that has something like that you know of?
No, I don't think they can, because it's not just the technology, which is a proprietary technology that we developed, but it's the content on the technology that, for example, in the Remax Control, we have hundreds of tutorial videos, we have several full courses, we have thousands of media files for download. Nobody can match the quantity and the quality of what we do, both because we take it from the United States, from Canada, from Europe, so we import a lot of knowledge, and also we have a lot of staff members that develop knowledge here, and and you guys, we have the biggest network. You always send us great ideas, like you said, and systems and methods, so I don't think the volume can be challenged in Israel, not even close.
The new course of during Corona, I mean, maybe you could talk about that, how you changed there's a course called the Jumpstart, Zeno class, like
Quick Start.
Hebrew. Quick Start, I'm sorry. Quick Start.
Yes.
I don't even remember. I know it in Hebrew, actually.
Right.
So that course is, the course that agents take at the very beginning, and many of them, several of our agents have taken again and again, because to get refreshed, and there's always new things happening in the market. But that course is, it was frontal. You have a classroom in Shoham, which is where the central location of Remax Israel, and Corona came and people had to be at home.
Yep.
So discuss that a little. What happened and what's happening now with that course?
So beyond just this specific course, I think that the best thing that we did during the COVID-19 pandemic, which maybe is over, maybe is not over, I don't know, but to the height of it.
You just had Corona, right?
Yes, last week. Yes. So
And you sound great, so obviously.
thank you.
Thank God.
Survived it.
Yes.
So what we did is we accepted no obstacle as a fact. We said, okay, we have to go around it. We have to keep doing what we do, which is train agents, recruit agents, onboard agents, and make sure that they are the best prepared in the market, in any market. And we've been through a lot, not a pandemic, but other things. And we said, that's not going to stop us. So we have to find a way around it. We were very quick. That was, I think, our best attribute during the corona. Not everything that we did succeeded, by the way, but we did a lot, and we did a lot of things quickly. So we immediately understood, okay, we cannot teach in the classroom, let's move it to Zoom. But Zoom for 8 hours, we saw it doesn't work. Okay, let's split the course into 2 segments of 4 hours each on Zoom so that people can handle it. Online learning is not that easy. Then we said, okay, let's try it on VOD as well, so that it will be on demand and not just when the Zoom is live, but they can see it whenever they want. So we had a lot of ways to keep the network engaged, keep agents trained. Now we're back to frontal with a live Zoom feed, and that's working well. We have we came back to the old version, but with a lot of new content. And the students who now study in Shoham, the frontal training, they can choose to do it on Zoom, but they also have a segment in VOD that complements what they do in the classroom. So it's like coming from all media, exploiting all the new technologies and the old technologies to make sure that nothing stops us from getting our message across to our network, to our agents, and they retain and increase their competitive edge. Always.
Yeah, and just want to say, if someone hasn't seen these courses, first of all, they're done at really, really high, very high level of professionalism. Yourself and Natasha, you guys are amazing. And actually, we're already talking about things that happened during the corona. Let's also talk about your morning course, your morning simulations.
The workouts.
The workouts,
yeah, exactly.
3 times, talk about it, please.
Yeah, so that was the second quarantine in second lockdown, okay, in September 2020, and it was really depressing because the whole year was very cloudy and murky, and we didn't really know what's happening. And then we had another lockdown right before the holidays, if you remember, and all around the holidays. That was very depressing, and we were afraid that the agents are going to lose touch with their business. They'll be waking up later, they'll be spending time with their kids who are also locked down, and it will take 3 weeks, it will take a month, who knows when they'll come back, and then they will need to revive their business from nothing. Maybe they will lose a lot of ground. So we said we need to keep them engaged. We need to wake them up early, make sure that they stay engaged, that they do the maximum they can for their business while in lockdown. If it's only phone calls, if it's just sending text messages, but be active. So we said let's start at 7 a.m. 3 times a week with a workout. And that was my initiative because I was very passionate about practicing and implementing techniques live, as opposed to just teaching them in a classroom where they stay very theoretical, but they're not being implemented. What we teach is very practical. We need agents to learn scripts, to learn dialogues, to be able to convey messages to clients. It's not academic. It's not just to sleep on it and let it fester in your mind. You need to apply it. So practicing it makes it applicable. And that was my vision. I said, let's wake up at 7 and start practicing specific scripts, specific dialogues. We call it deliberate practice. It's a methodology that's very common in the world today, especially in sports, but in business as well. And 2 years later, we're still there, still doing it. Less people, of course, now than when we started. It was a novelty and everybody was locked down, so that was a great advantage for me. And now people are freer, so they have less attention span for the morning workouts, but it's great. It's still, for me, very valuable platform for people to actually implement the knowledge that is necessary to be a successful real estate agent.
So what kind of feedback do you get from it? I mean, I'm on it, so my feedback is really good. I got to say that the doing specific, being very, very, very specific, and let's work out on this specific a script is extremely helpful. Because, and the second someone actually goes off and starts, no, this is what we're doing, okay, today, tomorrow, whatever, Tuesday or Thursday, we'll do something else, but this is what we're doing today. And that really, it's like it works out those muscles, the specific muscles, and at the end, all those muscles get worked out together, and then we have a full picture. So I got to say that I learn a lot from it, and it's really important, and I highly recommend if you're not doing it, get on there, okay? I know it's early in the morning.
Yeah.
Personally, I was a night person, okay? And I switched to being a morning person. Now I'm a morning person and a night person. So I get up early and go to sleep late. But the point is that I can't not do it. I have to get in there. I'm already dressed with my Remax thing on. And it's very important to not just get in, but also to get up there, okay? To be on broadcast, okay? Get on there. Don't be afraid. I mean, I blow up, I do a lot of, as we say, fashload all the time. Things happen. So what? Okay, better to fail and fall. And Gil isn't so bad. He's like really relaxed. Right. He doesn't like fall. Oh, what, you say the wrong thing? Oh, he's like, he does it very nicely. And you don't have to worry about that. And no one cares. We're all here together. Okay, we're all here to help each other. So join the morning training sessions and get up there, okay? New faces also, because otherwise, when I get up there, when I get up there,
of course,
when it's silence, no, I get up there, and I don't want to get up there.
Well, first of all, the feedback that I'm getting, and I understand, I also want new voices, because I think the challenge of speaking in front of 50, 70, 90 people on Zoom is a very big challenge. It's like public speaking, even though you're in your home usually, and you're in a very protected environment, but it is challenging, and I think this challenge helps people break out of their shell, and then they say, okay, if I can do it here, I can do it in front of a client. The client is just one person. I did it in front of 70. So yes, I definitely encourage people to participate, but I get a lot of feedback also from the listeners. I always tell them, hey, don't be just a listener, be a practitioner. But they say, I learn a lot. I'm working out, I'm in the gym, I'm doing a morning walk, I'm getting the kids organized for school, and I'm listening to you guys in the Zoom, and I'm learning a lot also from just hearing, like through this repetition of messages. So I get a lot of positive feedback, which I love, and it gives me, of course, motivation to keep doing it. But I see the improvement, because I see examples of people that went on air, let's say a month ago, a month and a half ago, and then they've been consistent, and then they go on air today, and I see the difference in not in a long period of time, 1 month, like 10 times they went live. I see an amazing difference in their performance. I know that it works. And it doesn't surprise me that it works, because when you repeat something enough times, you just become better. It becomes your second nature, and then you're able to insert into your script your body language and your tonation and your natural charisma and your humor. But you need to be very strong with the foundations of what you're selling and how you're selling. That's why we do it. And really enjoying it 2 years later.
We're definitely enjoying it, and our agents have raved about it. Okay, and I have several agents that are on. You don't see them much. They do pop up here.
That's
and there.
Fine.
But that's fine. Better there and not, at least, at least you're there. Okay, so, first of all, I must say that I don't, I chose Remax Israel as an agent at the beginning, and then became a franchise owner, whatever. So the reason I chose Remax, I think, had to do the most with the level of professionalism, the level of training that I get. And I don't think there's anywhere else. I mean, is there any other Reshet, any other company that you know of that has this kind of thing?
I don't want to talk about the competition directly, because I'm sure other people offer training as well. Some of them I know personally, but it's not just the basic training. I think that we shouldn't downplay the importance of the offices, which you represent in this podcast. The offices that are taking these people from the training and actually working with them to implement, it's like it's onboarding, it's working with them, sometimes even practically into the field, into a listing presentation, door knocking together. I think this combination of human resources from the head office, training the people, and then from the offices themselves, working with them on implementing what they learned, that's the winning formula. And this, I think, no one can compete right now in Israel, because the gap is too big. We have great people in head office, but we also have great people in the offices, and the offices themselves have started to hire trainers like you have in your office. So they get a second level of training, sometimes by amazing people. And this is very hard to compete with. And I definitely feel that during COVID-19, the gap between Remax and the competition grew dramatically. We were super active during that time. We tried to motivate, to move, to give tools. We worked very hard on virtual tours, which you were personally doing before COVID-19, before us, to be honest.
Sorry.
That's good. That's being a trailblazer. But so we tried.
Now it's every single property.
That's amazing. That was our
exception. Yeah,
that's unbelievable. So that was thanks to the crisis of the pandemic. So I think that the human resources that we have and the dedication and the focus that we have on growth is a separation from competitors. The numbers say it in Israel. It's not a matter of opinion, but it doesn't mean that we can stay complacent or become complacent or say, we are so big and they're not so big. We have to keep pushing, keep growing, and there's a huge opportunity in Israel because a lot of the market is done without real estate agents. So that's the real demographic that we need to target, and it's a huge blue ocean that we need to be much bigger in.
Okay, so talking about... you talked about pretty roughly where we are right now. First of all, I'd love to hear how many, give us some numbers, how many agents are there currently in RE/MAX, how many offices. I know offices probably less important than the amount of agents. As far as I'm concerned, I think, it's all in the numbers, and the more agents you have, I mean, in my office specifically, the more agents we recruit, the more properties come in the office. And the more properties there are, the more transactions there are. Even someone new comes in and right away they have properties that they can sell. So the numbers are important, but even more important is the quality of the agents. Okay, and because I've seen, there's a poster on my wall there that shows other companies in America competition, and I see that they have more agents, but then I look at the amount of transactions per agent, and they're like way less than RE/MAX. RE/MAX, and I think even from what I remember that Bernard was talking about once, I think he was thinking about opening a Century 21 here, right?
Yes, it was his first love.
Yes, and he decided RE/MAX instead. Why did he do that?
So honestly, the answer is directly connected to what you said about the productivity of the agents, because many, many years ago, Century 21 was much bigger than RE/MAX globally. Right now, they're almost even, but let's say, 26 years ago, they were triple the size of RE/MAX globally, and yet RE/MAX agents were making more transactions per agent, so the productivity was always higher with RE/MAX, and this gap just keeps growing. RE/MAX agents are number one in every survey done in the US, productivity per agent, number of transactions per agent. So we understood that there's something in the formula of RE/MAX. It's not really the formula, because RE/MAX doesn't have any formula that is copyrighted or protected. It's actually a derivative of realty executives, by the way. It's the culture. The culture of RE/MAX is a very entrepreneurial culture. We're looking for agents. You said quality of agents. The beautiful thing about what I love about real estate, it's a level playing field. Anyone can succeed in real estate. Anyone can fail. I don't want anyone to understand from what I said when I say everyone can succeed that there's a guarantee for success. Absolutely not. You can fail or succeed, but the playing field is fair. Young people, older people, married, divorced, from the outskirts of Israel, from the peripheries, from the smaller cities in the north and the south, from the center. There's an equal chance for everyone to succeed. So the quality is not something that you bring with you. It's something that we develop together with you as an agent. You don't have to be XYZ to succeed. You don't have to come with prior knowledge. You don't have to come with great contacts in the community. You don't have to come with a lot of money in your pockets. You don't have to come with any of these things. They can help you sometimes, but you don't have to. Anyone can succeed. So when you talk about quality, I look about how we develop together. Us, the region, you, the office, and the agent themselves, how we develop the quality together. Entrepreneurial means that we are looking for agents that are very motivated, very self-motivated, that they take advantage of RE/MAX. We are not looking for people that want to join RE/MAX to be like under the banner. We want them to use the banner in a very manipulative way, in a very good manipulative way, to make more money for themselves, to say, hey, which brand can support me the best way, not which brand I can work for. We don't use that language because they don't work for us, they work for themselves. Use the brand that serves your interest the most. And RE/MAX attracts agents that are very self-serving, that are very motivated, that they don't look for the cavalry to come and save them, but they're saying, okay, let me do my thing. How can you help me do my thing? What tools do you give me? What knowledge do you give me? What is the power that your brand supplies me with? And these people, they are the reason why the gap between RE/MAX and the competition in productivity per agent is that big.
You touched on a subject which is very close to me, okay? And I see a lot of agents that come in and they want to be in RE/MAX because they want to use the brand, which is great. But there are so many things that RE/MAX has that they're not touching even, okay? They're not taking advantage of what we say. Well, RE/MAX doesn't do this. Well, do you know how many things are there that you're not even get in there. I mean, can you maybe just touch upon a few things just to open up the eyes of agents? Just say, do you know that we have this?
Well, I think, first of all, you touched on a great point that agents, when they join us, most of them are startups, which means that they don't have prior experience in real estate. That's a huge percentage of our agents, and they get culture shock. They go into this business, and there are so many things to do, so many opportunities, and sometimes I think they detach themselves because it's overwhelming. So they don't really know, unless you have like a trainer in your office that really chaperones them and walks them into it. So I see it a lot of times that they just disconnect because it's too much, and their schedule becomes hectic, and sometimes they've never been self-employed before, so it's even traumatic for them, and that's why they don't take advantage. And I remember like all kind of success stories. We have a guy from Modi'in that we did one of the lives, of Facebook lives during the COVID pandemic, Ro'i Abrahanian. Young guy came to us in his early 20s. Today he has a team. He's a team leader who is younger than every single member in his team. Much younger, I think, and he's a very successful agent. He's one of our top clubs, top producers for 2021, and he came very young, without experience, and he said it's very simple. I never stayed in one place. I always looked for opportunities to learn. This agent was going on a listing presentation. I'm going with you. Oh, you're going door knocking. I'm coming with you. He just said there's no time to waste. I was sitting in the office. Okay, let's read something about, I don't know, taxation in real estate. Let's Google Mas Shevach. Let's Google this. Let's Google that. Okay, oh, now this guy's going on a listing presentation. I'm going with him. Always move. Always be like a rolling stone. Always be in action. And it's so simple, but a lot of people, like you say, don't do it. And for example, one tool that they should be using is the Control. Remax Control is an intranet website that has hundreds of training videos, thousands of files for download, full courses that they can learn, a lot of things that are good for integration and onboarding into the system. And maybe it's also overwhelming because it's so big. So I can understand the psychology behind the agents who are frustrating you and us by not using all the power of the brand. And it's okay if it's gradual, but as long as they understand how much we have to offer them.
Yeah, it is overwhelming. I think they don't know where to start, and even though everything is a lot of things, maybe there needs to be something a little more on a basic level, something easy. So it's like not too much information. You know, too much information is like mind-blowing sometimes. I don't know. I have to tell them, okay, go here, and
Yes.
okay, great. And definitely the VOD of the course of Zinuka Sakim is definitely worth them looking in. Okay, so now let's just talk a little about what do you think the recipe for success would be for an agent?
So the recipe for success is very simple, but it's very difficult to apply and to actually implement, which is action is much more important than anything else that you can think of that will affect the success of your business. The thing about when you join a brand, when you join a company that's been around in Israel for 27 years and globally for 49, 48 years, the formula exists. We know what works. It doesn't work 100% of the times, but we know that if you do certain, activities enough times, eventually you'll be on the right path to success, right? If you do enough phone calls, that will lead to enough listing presentations. We know all the ratios. We know what leads to what. And it's been already, the code has been broken. Don't need to re-break the code. So my greatest recommendation to any new person who's joining this industry is just do things without thinking too much. Just do them again and again and again. Repetition is key because that's the rule of big numbers. But beyond that, if you do something enough times, you also become better, but the results change accordingly. My greatest fear is for agents who do something once or twice and then they start analyzing it. Don't analyze it. You don't have enough knowledge or background to analyze anything. Do it 50 times, then come back to talk to me. Because I had agents come to me and say, you know what, door knocking doesn't work. So as a fact, you're wrong, but no one likes to hear that because it's been working so well for hundreds and thousands of agents. But it doesn't work for you right now, okay? Because you've done it how many times? 5. Okay, so when you do it 100 times, we'll have this conversation again. Stop thinking about why things don't work. Just do them enough times until they do. It's like the famous story with Dyson, right? The guy, Mr. Dyson, who invented the vacuum cleaner. It was model number 5,000 and something that went on market for the first time. The first 5,000 and something failed, okay? But he kept trying because he knew, okay, if I do it enough times, I will find the right formula for a vacuum cleaner. It's just a matter of attempting enough times. I understand why agents try to work around things and reinvent the wheel and stuff like this, because nobody likes rejection. There's a lot of rejection. Get ready for it. There's a lot of rejection. In sales in general, in real estate specifically, there's a lot of rejection from homeowners, and you need to understand that it's going to come. It's not going to be fun, and our psyche is always like, okay, let's take us out of this place of rejection. So they try to reinvent the wheel. No, I shouldn't be door knocking. No, I shouldn't be calling for sale by owners. I'll do something else. I'll do this, I'll do that. Don't. Stop thinking. Stop analyzing. Just be in action. Whenever you're in doubt, do something. Go outside, knock on 5 doors. Go outside, sit in the coffee house, speak to people. Just do something. Always in motion, always in action, like a rolling stone, until things will click for you. Just need to have the patience and the determination to keep yourself active.
I might add to that, that especially if there's a downer, something happened, let's say a transaction blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you could sit there and say, everything's terrible, or you could just get back into action. Get back into action.
It's the best remedy. It's the best cure for everything. But when you have a transaction fall down, it means that you already did a lot. You had a listing, you had a buyer, you had a negotiation. That's a good sign for me that you're already achieved a certain milestone. I see people that are becoming the depressed person that you just portrayed much earlier, before they have a deal fall apart. So that's great advice. Always the best cure for you is just go outside, make a few phone calls, go meet a few people, talk to them. You never know where your next transaction is coming from. Just be active all the time. But it's a challenge. That's why we have trainers in the offices, to try and get agents motivated again and again to maintain a certain routine that's focused on activity.
There was a, I don't remember who it was, but he always said, there's nothing, well, he said it to the franchise owner, there's nothing that is so terrible that 2 more agents, recruiting 2 more agents can't help. I would say the same thing. There's nothing so terrible that 2 more listings can't fix.
It's an old Chinese proverb.
That's where it comes from. Ancient.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's talk a little about the market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're first of all, you're married to Shirley, so I'm sure you know what's happening. Definitely.
Well, everybody knows.
Mm-hmm. And we're in Jerusalem. There is this fear that some have, very few actually. It's a very small percent of people think, listen, the interest rates are going up,
mm-hmm.
both in America, which definitely has a direct bearing on Israel.
Already. Mm-hmm.
Already. Yeah, just yesterday I think it went up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And inflation in America is super high. It's like 8%, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually hear that there is a recession already. They call it a mitun. There is a recession happening in America, believe it or not. And people saying, hey, prices are going to go down. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I'll give you my thoughts and also an opinion. I'll separate the two because the opinion is very private. My thoughts is always go back to lesson number 1 in microeconomics. The first 15 minutes, they teach you supply and demand curve. That is what dictating the market in Israel is, that the supply is low, the demand is high. It's not about to change. Anytime in the near future, there's a gap between the number of units available for sale via first hand, second hand, it doesn't matter, to the demand. And as long as that doesn't change, prices will not go down. But I will tell you another thing, and that's where my opinion comes into play, so you can feel free to disagree with me. I don't think anybody really wants prices to go down. That's a sign of a crisis. I'm not talking about a small correction, which also is not on the horizon, but prices that go down in real estate is bad news for most of the citizens of Israel. We have in Israel a 65 or 66% home ownership in Israel, at least one home, if not more. These people don't want prices to go down. It will depreciate their assets and will expose them to danger of maybe not even being able to cover the mortgage with the value of the home. That's a terrible position to be in. You don't want anyone to be in that position. It's unsafe for the economy. It's unstable. I think that if you're looking for young couples who are obviously the most affected by the prices of real estate, the solutions are elsewhere. Okay, the solutions are elsewhere. They should be on the supply side, not on the demand side. And they're much bigger than just real estate, because you can still find houses, listings, properties in Israel that are relatively priced at a normal range. I don't know what is a normal range, but you can still find them. Problem is, they're not in the center of Israel. They're not in Jerusalem. But the country is so small that commuting between one area to another shouldn't be such a big issue. We see a lot of big projects that are working around it, especially in Gush Dan, but also cross country. And once you handle, transportation and you handle education, then location doesn't become that important anymore. And that's where maybe the young couples can start getting into the game of real estate. But I'm telling you don't want prices to go down, definitely not by dramatic numbers.
So, yeah, I mean, I could tell you for myself that from our area of Jerusalem, prices are just going up and going up. I mean, just in the past 8 months in like Ramat Eshkol, if you heard the area, went up like 25%.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're getting so many phone calls every day for these areas, especially if anywhere in Jerusalem, to be honest. And, there's not even enough properties for the people that live here. You have people that are getting married, even people getting divorced, all sorts of people that need homes.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of homes that are being built, the new projects, is not enough, that's for sure. And you have people from outside of Israel that also want. So that all put together adds, like you talked about, the supply and demand. There's just not enough supply. And that's not changing anytime soon. So as much as you think the prices are high now, waiting is not going to get any better. People that waited 2 months literally lost 200,000 shekel.
Wow.
This is what happened. So we had buyers like that waited. Now they bought a house and they paid 200,000 shekel more. So it's a strong market right now. The economy is strong, definitely. And this is not America here. The Bank of Israel is really, really tight about mortgages. So it's a different flavor here. I see a lot of people taking their money from America, literally, and they're bringing it here.
Wow.
Because they don't trust what's going on over there. There's inflation. It's a high. There's a lot of question marks over there. So that's as far as that goes. So now let's talk a little about, we're coming to the end of the podcast. Where do you see Remax 5 years from now? How do you see it leading I don't see Remax, honestly, as just a place to produce agents and that kind of thing. I really believe, and I see it and I feel it, that especially with burnout at its top, it is actually leading the path, and it's actually improving the way business is done here with real estate, the quality of agents, definitely. It's actually, we have a direct impact on the market, on Remax.
Absolutely.
How do you see it?
Well, first of all, I think you can already, when you look back and you summarize the 20-something years that Remax has been here, you see today a much higher level of professionalism in the industry in general, also with our competitors. You have to be honest that some of our competitors came from Remax, left us and became competitors. Others were influenced by our systems. So you see today exclusivity, using, representing listings exclusively, which never existed in Israel before, is now becoming more and more customary, and it's great for the customers, by the way. So we see it both with the Remax, of course, but with the competitors as well. And what kind of things that we used to do that were innovative at the time, open houses, postcards, all these kinds of advertising shticks. Today everybody does them, and we have to keep innovating all the time. So yes, we're definitely a market leader. We want to impact the perception of real estate agents in the eyes of the customers as much as we can. Customers are not always thinking about real estate agents. It's not an important thing in their lives, because they approach us or get approached by us once every 7, 8, 9 years when they are players in the market. But we want to have a much higher level of professionalism all across the country. We don't mind that our competitors improve as well, because it will increase.
We're happy about that.
Yeah, I think it will increase the total business, because like I said, a percentage of the market is still working without an agent at all. So if we get more people into the pool of using real estate agents to close their deals, everybody will win, right? Remax will get their share and the competitors will get their share as well. And the only way to do it is to deliver a much higher level of product, of service. And here we have a huge influence. So if you look 5 years forward, we want to be much bigger. We want to have a bigger market share.
How many agents would you say?
2,000 for sure. A bigger market share all across the country that we can give, support, and we can also help you guys with referrals all over the country. So you always have someone to refer to. But I think our challenge as regional offices, people who are running Remax Israel, is to help our offices grow into businesses. Because you see your office, for example, now you have a trainer, right?
Yes. Leslie Kaplan.
Exactly. Leslie, who is a consistent member of our morning workouts.
So she's really good comment this morning.
She's in my good book. Everybody who comes to the morning workouts goes to my good book. So,
shout out to Leslie. Yes.
So our offices are becoming much more independent in being involved in the lives of their agents, from their onboarding to their ongoing training, to helping them grow their own business as agents inside your office. So you have to become much more proficient. You have to become bigger. You have to have more people in your staff. Now you're very helpful.
You need to give them more services.
Exactly. Yeah. So you told me that you're also helping your agents with digital marketing.
Yes,
with marketing.
We just started that with now, like really going after Facebook specifically, but like really pounding it. So you'll see a lot of stuff soon.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's our challenge. Our challenge is helping you guys build systems that are ready to cater a much bigger office, that when you go to 60, 70, 80, 100 agents. I just had a meeting today with one of our biggest offices in Hadera, and that's the challenge, how to build infrastructure that supports a much, much bigger team of players. And that will be our challenge, is helping you guys as office owners and office managers to grow, so you can grow your business of your agents, both in number, but also in their GCI, in their income, in their success, in their productivity, which is what we champion. That's what we do best.
Fantastic. Okay, we're coming towards the end. Can you give us 3 great books that every agent should be reading?
Okay, but they have to be
English
all about
books. English,
of course. But
okay.
They all have to be about real estate and business, because I'll start with
what's going to help books that are going to help them be a better person and better agent. Put it that way.
Okay, well, so sales, I would definitely recommend, first of all, Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone, yes. Which I think for me is a great start. It's not the only sales book you will read. You should read much more, but that's a very good start, and it's sales the way I like, that when sales are done that way. Let's see others. For, I don't know, mental toughness, I would definitely read Grit by Angela Duckworth, which is a very important book. And there are a lot of books from the School of Positive Psychology, which I would definitely recommend other than that. But Grit would be a great starter for anyone. And if you want to know how to train very, very well, then you should read Peak, P-E-A-K, by Andres Ericsson, who is the founder of the Deliberate Practice. All of these books are available in English. Of course, they were written in English, and they're available, most of them, on Audible as well, and of course in hardcover, paperback, whatever you want. So that would be 3 good recommendations to start with.
Great. Last question. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
It's a little strange question, but how would you like to be remembered after 120 years?
Well, first of all, as a father, that's my most important role by far. As an educator in my own home, first of all. And then I think my passion is just helping people become better versions of themselves. And that's my greatest satisfaction that I take from training, from working with agents and broker owners, is to see people improve and become better than what they used to be, if it's in business, if it's in actual income, or even if it's as people, when they have new horizons, when they start reading the right books and they become more developed and enrich their own lives. So that's where I want my impact to be.
Wow, it's amazing. I could definitely, people look at you and say, Gil, you could be like this great agent. But I have a feeling inside that that's not what you really enjoy more helping other people.
Yes.
Success.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great attribute. So again, I want to thank you so much for coming. We could go on and on. I have so many questions. We'll do a chapter 2 of this, but I learned a lot from this, and I hope the people that are watching have enjoyed this. Gil is the man. I'm telling you, I learned so much from him all the time.
Thank you.
Take advantage of him, okay? He wants to be taken advantage.
Absolutely.
He said it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, in a good way, of course.
Yes.
Okay, there's so much he has here for you. Okay, ask him questions. Hit him with WhatsApps, okay? He answers, actually. How about that?
That's true.
And get in the morning training. He's there to help. That's what he's here for. And we love Gil. He's like our guy. Everyone's, Gil, wow. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming, Gil, and we had a great time. And we'll have to say goodbye. I know cutting this short, about 45 minutes longer. And but it was a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again soon in Jerusalem.
Absolutely.
And take care, guys.
Bye. Thank you very much for watching.